You know what really, really and truly baffles me? When people snub down or look down at humble beginnings. What am I talking about? Hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Jan. Welcome to another episode on the Save Money and More with Jan channel. How you doing today? Hopefully everyone is doing well. Whatever you do today, I hope it's a special day for you. Every day is special, right? We're here. There you go. All right. Listen, I don't understand it. Maybe you don't understand it, but it happens. Why do people dumb down or snub down humble beginnings? All of us have to start from somewhere. Am I right? It's the truth. There are just so many ways. And I want to talk to you for a minute about those who are shying down from saving or in one way or another, or even with grocery stockpiling. Know what it is? We look around and we see people with these humongous, and I mean beautifully done stockpiles. But keep in mind, everybody's life is different. Everybody's need is different. Everybody's household is different. Everybody's amount of people in that household is different. You see where I'm going with it. So to have like a cookie cutter thinking about what a stockpile of groceries is supposed to look like, many times we just see the end result and we're not looking at the reality of now. Let me ask you a question. If you're a person by yourself, or perhaps two people living in the same household, isn't it better to start small than not to start at all? Yeah, it kind of rhymes, but it's the truth. Let's think about it. In times of an emergency, for example, let's say that you put a secret stash together of canned goods, flour, beans, all the things that could get you through survival food for at least a week. Wouldn't you be really happy to know, heaven forbid such a day comes up, that you really have to have that stuff, and then it occurs to you, wait a minute, a few months back I put away this, that, and this, as opposed to zero, zero. It's better to start small than to not at all. Don't get overwhelmed. We hear about all these big numbers, big this. Don't focus on that. Focus on the reality of you. Focus on what works for you. For example, if you could take a $20 bill and head on over to the $1.25 type store, and you could get X number of things for your beginner stockpile. But you know what? It's easier to think in increments. I like working with simple numbers, okay? Even though I'm not a fan of math, but when it comes to fundamentals, simple numbers have a way of working. Sort of like being a bean counter, if you will. So let's say that you're a person by yourself, or you have one other person in your household. Just think about what could the two of you or yourself realistically live on as far as a grocery, edible food stockpile. Now, I'm eliminating all the other trim, all the other things that we talk about, for example, just narrowing it down to food, okay? How many times a week would you eat pasta, okay? So maybe you could get two boxes of pasta, for example, one for week 1, one for week 2, or bags, however way you purchase it. Okay, so let's see this. All right, so you got definitely have a pasta night out of the deal. That's relatively inexpensive, right? And if you go to a $1.25 type store, you already know the price in advance. But if you don't go to the $1.25 type store and go to a regular grocery store, there is a variant. Now, how about protein like meats? Do you eat meat? Would you eat canned meat? Well, let's be realistic. Can you get a couple of tuna fish cans? Or if you don't care for tuna fish cans, maybe you prefer canned chicken. I understand at this moment in time, in the process of me recording this, which is a week ahead of time, okay? Just saying that there seems to be dwindling at this moment in certain stores of certain canned meats. Now, I don't know if that was the result of recent events with that dock strike or whatever, but keep your eye on it. So okay, so we already established pasta and we already established canned meat, protein. Suppose you don't care for that. Suppose you rather have beans as protein. You should consider definitely pick that up and if that's something for you or the other person, the two of you, see where I'm going with this. Just go with the stuff that realistically that you eat. Don't worry about what somebody else is saying or whatever. I'm just like giving you like just a general, like a little push into at least starting with something. Okay. Canned fruits, for example. I enjoy canned fruits. I like canned peaches. I like canned pears, fruit cocktail. You see where I'm going with that? Perhaps 2 cans of that. You see, one for week number one, one for week number two. I'm just saying, okay? How about canned beans? Suppose you're not interested in cooking beans. So you don't mind the canned beans that are flavored. That's me. That's where Jan falls into the category. I like that fancy schmancy. It's even in a small can, but that I do like. I'm just saying the truth. So maybe that's something for you. Excuse me, or the other person. So sit down with pen and paper or type it out on your computer, whatever it is that makes you think about what works for you, and only think in terms of perhaps 7 days. 7 days for 2 people. Of course, you have to know like the size of the cans or whatever, so that realistically, I would imagine that most average canned fruits, vegetables would be totally okay for 2 people. That's my totally guess because it seems to work for me. So I'm just saying, then you could consider some maybe treat or maybe some cereal bars. Just think very, very in term of that. Do you enjoy canned spam? I understand from watching other channels who are thoroughly versed, thoroughly knowledgeable, that there may be a problem with beef, a shortage of beef in upcoming months. Ooh, that's scary. So maybe consider getting some, canned beef of some sort. Check into those other channels. Just type in, prepper channels and whatever, you'll pick up the ones that, work best for you. But I'm telling you, it really is important. Don't say, "Oh, it doesn't matter. Starting small makes no difference." No, that is not true. Again, I'm going to emphasize starting small, honestly, is seriously much better than not starting at all. And it does make a difference. What other things could you do for starting your beginning stockpile as a brand new small starting person? Do you have water in your house? Do you have bottled water in your house at all? Or apartment? Hmm, that's a problem. That's a problem, honestly. So, but it's an easily solved problem. You get the bottled water, okay? Or filtration system of some sort. Even if it's something as simple as picking up, like those Brita type, which is the kind actually that I always keep in my refrigerator. That has saved me a bundle on like regular time, not using bottled water. But of course, for times of emergency, it's imperative to keep a supply of bottled water available. We just don't know. No one gives us a written invitation. Just last night, I received a text from my own building that said, "This is like on a temporary basis. They have a plumbing issue, and the water will be out from let's say 9 to 5, and have water ready." Obviously, so the minute I got that text, it says, "Okay, so just go and get like stored water." Not necessarily for drinking because I already have that, but like for other purposes, for cooking, for bathing, whatever, because you never know how long a plumbing issue can take. We just don't know. There's no like time set on it. So start small because starting small is much, much, much better than not starting at all. And it doesn't take that much money either. Keep that in mind. And keep that in mind also when it comes to saving money. I rather hear somebody save money a little bit at a time every single day for a whole month and keep doing it than the person that says, it doesn't add up. How very not true. A little here, a little there, it all adds up. All right, everybody, have an amazing, fantastic day. Thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate everybody's time. Don't forget to click like if you'd be so kind to do that. I really appreciate it. Have a wonderful day and also consider subscribing to the channel. Take good care.